Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to talk about which class you should choose in WoW Adventure to get the best start. The game offers 5 different classes: Warrior, Archer, Mage, Assassin, and Priest. Each class comes with 8 unique skills and a completely different playstyle. So before I give my final recommendation, let's go through each class one by one, break down their strengths and weaknesses, and help you decide which one best matches your own playstyle. Let's start with Warrior, the class that I personally think is the easiest to pick up out of all 5. Warrior's entire kit revolves around dealing damage while constantly healing itself, making it perfect for players who prefer a safe playstyle, enjoy being tanky, and don't want to worry about dying. Smash and Heroic Strike are your basic combo skills, both with only a 1-second cooldown, allowing you to deal steady, consistent DPS. But my favorite skill is definitely Heavy Strike. It slams the ground with a powerful AoE attack that deals up to 379% damage while restoring HP with a 95% lifesteal ratio. In other words, one good hit can almost refill your health bar, making it incredibly useful for auto battle or AFK grinding. Whirlwind is another excellent sustain skill, striking nearby enemies 5 times and restoring 8% HP every time it's used. On top of that, Shield Wall and Shield Slam provide protective shields to keep Warrior alive, while Avatar grants damage reduction for 10 seconds and continuously damages nearby enemies at the same time. Overall, Warrior is an incredibly durable class with amazing self-sustain and is very difficult to kill. It's an excellent choice for beginners or anyone who wants to farm maps and clear long dungeons without constantly worrying about their HP. The biggest downside, in my opinion, is that Warrior doesn't clear mobs as quickly as the ranged magic classes. Most of its skills have a short range, so you have to dive into the middle of enemy packs to get the most out of its abilities. Next up is Archer, a class built around long-range combat, kiting, and eliminating enemies quickly. Auto Shot, with its 1-second cooldown, is your basic attack for dealing consistent damage, while Multi-Shot fires 6 arrows in a straight line, making it very effective when enemies are lined up. Warhawk summons a hawk to fight alongside you for 10 seconds, adding extra damage while giving you the feeling of having a companion supporting you in battle. Hunt is a very strong buff skill that activates hunting time, increasing your attack speed by 80% for 10 seconds. It's especially powerful when timed correctly to maximize your burst damage. In my opinion, though, Archer's strongest combo comes from Trap Laying and Arrow Rain. Trap Laying places a circular trap that deals an impressive 288% damage to any enemy that steps into it, while Arrow Rain covers an 8-meter area with a rain of arrows, hitting enemies 11 times over 3 seconds. Together, these 2 skills give Archer surprisingly strong crowd control and AoE damage for a class that's primarily designed around single-target attacks. The biggest advantage of Archer is its long attack range, allowing you to fight much more safely than Warrior or Assassin, since you don't have to dive into the middle of combat. The downside is that you need good positioning, proper trap placement, and solid dodging skills, because Archer has very limited self-healing and defensive tools compared to Warrior. When it comes to Mage, I have to admit this is my favorite class in terms of visuals and combat effects. It's built to clear large groups of enemies as efficiently as possible. Arc Bolt is your basic starter skill, firing an energy projectile that explodes on impact. Frost Orb launches an icy sphere that pierces through multiple enemies with a 147% damage rate, while Ball Lightning summons an electric orb at a targeted location that repeatedly zaps nearby enemies for a total of 10 hits. The skill that impressed me the most, though, is Transcendence. It grants a special buff called Arcane Missile, cutting the cooldown of all your basic skills in half while it's active. It almost feels like a cheat code because once you activate Transcendence, you can spam Flame Hand and Blizzard almost non-stop. Flame Hand summons a giant dragon head that continuously breathes fire in a cone, dealing 20 hits in total, while Blizzard creates a snowstorm that strikes enemies 11 times within its area. The real highlight, however, is Arcane Barrage. It unleashes a massive explosion that fires 40 magical missiles around your character, creating an incredible spectacle on screen while practically wiping out everything within range. If you enjoy explosive gameplay, flashy visual effects, and incredibly fast mob clearing, then Mage is easily one of the best classes you can choose. The only downside I've noticed is that Mage doesn't have many self-healing or defensive abilities like Warrior or Priest. Because of that, you'll need solid gear or good positioning to make up for its lower survivability. Now let's move on to Assassin, which I consider the king of single-target damage among all the classes. Grace Slash and Pierce are your basic combo skills for consistent damage, while Dismember delivers 4 consecutive slashes in a cone-shaped area. Mirror Image summons a Shadow Warrior to fight alongside you for 8 seconds, adding extra damage during combat. But the skill that really caught my attention is Regicide. It summons a massive blade above the target before crashing down, dealing an incredible 700 and 779% damage, the highest damage multiplier I've seen on any skill in the game so far. If you need to melt a boss or eliminate a high priority target as quickly as possible, Regicide is exactly the skill you're looking for. Blade Dance summons 3 spinning blades around the assassin, striking enemies 5 times over 3 seconds, while Smoke Bomb throws a smoke bomb that deals AoE damage and creates a smoke field that reduces enemy accuracy. It's a unique debuff that really helps assassins stand out. Finally, Death Dance unleashes 30 daggers at nearby enemies over 5 seconds, adding even more burst damage to the class. Overall, Assassin is designed for maximum single-target burst, making it an excellent choice if your gameplay revolves around boss fights or PvP. The downside is that it lacks the large-scale AoE clearing power of Mage or Archer, and it has no reliable self-healing, so it's much less comfortable for AFK farming compared to Warrior. Finally, we have Priest, the only class in the game that can both deal damage and heal allies at the same time. It's an excellent choice if you enjoy playing in a group or prefer a hybrid playstyle that combines offense with support. Smite fires a holy light orb at an enemy while healing the ally with the lowest HP. Healing Wave sends out a beam of light that bounces between allies and enemies, dealing damage while restoring HP at the same time. I really like this mechanic because you don't have to choose between attacking and healing. It does both. Holy Nova releases a wave of holy energy with a massive 30-meter radius, healing all nearby allies while damaging enemies within its range. As far as I've seen, this has one of the largest areas of effect in the game. Kingdom Come repeatedly calls down holy light 15 times, healing allies and dealing holy damage to every target it hits. One thing that makes Priest especially interesting is that it also has a dark skill tree alongside its holy abilities. Skills like Mind Spike and Shadow Rift deal dark damage while still healing allies, and Shadow Lash drains HP from up to 5 nearby enemies, converting it into healing energy for your entire team. Its ultimate, Void Legacy, summons an old god statue that continuously heals nearby allies while damaging enemies standing within its area. Overall, Priest is a fantastic choice if you enjoy a durable, supportive playstyle and don't want to worry about dying in the middle of a fight. The trade-off is that its raw damage output simply can't match classes like Mage or Assassin if you're only looking at pure DPS. After going through all 5 classes, here are my recommendations based on different playstyles. If your goal is fast farming, clearing large groups of enemies, and enjoying flashy combat effects, then Mage is easily my top pick. The combination of Transcendence and Arcane Barrage delivers one of the most satisfying experiences I've had in this game. If you're a new player looking for something simple, durable, and great for AFK grinding, then Warrior is an excellent choice. It's incredibly hard to kill as long as you rotate Heavy Strike and Whirlwind properly. If you enjoy landing huge burst damage and deleting enemies in a single combo, especially during boss fights or PvP, then Assassin is the class you shouldn't overlook. Regicide has the highest damage multiplier in the game, making it an absolute monster against single targets. Archer is best suited for players who prefer fighting safely from a distance while controlling the battlefield with traps, while Priest is ideal for those who enjoy group play and value survivability and team support over pure damage output. One thing I think every player should know before choosing a class is that the class change system in this game is extremely beginner-friendly. Before reaching level 50, you can switch classes freely with no cooldown at all. All of your equipment will automatically convert into the appropriate gear for your new class while keeping its existing effects, and your inscriptions will transfer over as well. So if you're still unsure which class suits you best, don't hesitate to try several of them before hitting level 50. After that point, every class change comes with a 7-day cooldown, making it much less convenient if you decide to switch later. Personally, I think it's a great system because it encourages new players to experiment with every class before committing to one for the long term. That wraps up my complete review of all 5 classes in WoW Adventure. Hopefully this guide gives you a much clearer idea of which class best matches your playstyle. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel to support in-depth guides and gameplay content in the future. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.